What's going on, Soul Tribe? I salute the divinity in you, and welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and are you ready to set some intentions for this week? You know what, we almost missed out on intentions. I will say, I dropped the ball a little bit. I was like doing a rich one. I was just like, wait a minute, I think Mercury's changing signs here soon, and this is what happens. I went to check like for aspects. I'm like, oh, okay, there's no aspects with the classical planets this week, so I'm like, perfect. Then I just went about my day, and I'm like, Justin, did you check the ephemeris? And no, I didn't. And so the moral of this story is make sure to check your ephemeris, because I would have saw right there that Mercury would have zipped right by, because I normally release this on a Mercury day, which would have been appropriate considering we were talking about Mercury. Mercury would have been pissed if I missed this one. So we're going to get into all that here in a moment. But before we do, if you're new here, again, my name is Justin. And one of the things that I do on this channel is talk about the Celestial News Weekly, the chit-chat that goes on up in the sky. And I'm going to be covering the week of May 8th through the 14th, and let's get into this thing. Because on the 10th of May, that's going to be a Saturn day, at about, about 5:15 a.m., and that's going to be Pacific time, Mercury is going to enter into Taurus. And this is a dope energy. You know, this is one, I think Taurus can be seen as like, just sort of like the slow moving sort of energy, the farmer archetype. We're taking care of things. We're just moving at just like a leisurely pace. But Taurus is a very creative sign. They're Venus ruled. They're the fixed earth sign. They're receptive or yin in nature. So not only do they have that creativity, but they can ground it. You know, you could see like Taurus creating great music, or maybe even like creating like different furniture, plants, things along those lines, very kind of earthy sort of like things. So I think one kind of great way of working with this Mercury energy and entering into Taurus is thinking about some ways, like some creative ways that you can start grounding some of your ideas, especially if there's been just like a lot of overgrowth. You picture with Taurus, let's get that growing out here. Let's expand the pot a little bit. Because you know how that happens when a plant starts to grow and get to a certain length. Their space gets small, and you got to put them in something bigger so that they can grow even fuller, even and get more, just more lush out here. So this would be a great time, especially if you were feeling really, Mercury and Aries can be very just like quick ideas. The will is on fire. You're just feeling hot. So now you can take all of those inspirations and really make sense of how to do something with them, and take your time with it. I find it's like things will move faster than you may think, but you can't rush a plant. If you were to overwater, and just like in this analogy, if you were to overwater a plant or over anything with a plant, you might end up doing more harm than good. So this would be something where if you have an idea, if you want to maybe start out like a workout routine, for example, that's always an easy one. Start slow. Maybe we start by just like doing maybe a light jog, or maybe we're doing some kickboxing, or maybe you're doing just some cardio around the house, or maybe you're turning like your cleaning projects into you're putting a little more oomph into it. So we're dancing while we're doing things, so we're getting a workout, whatever that's looking like. Just as long as we're introducing movement. That could be a fun way of working with that, or just any sort of thing that I think with this. But also too, I do think that this energy does allow us to kind of slow down the mind, especially if we have been, like I said, Mercury's was in Aries for a little while. We've been in kind of this heated energy, or more fire in the mix now. Jupiter's still in Gemini, and we still have like all this water. So we're just now starting to get more earth into the mix now that Mercury's joined the sun here in Taurus. So this would be, I think, just a great time if you've been just feeling really overly stimulated. Things have just been, just information here, there, everywhere. Get out in touch with nature. I think go put your head up against a tree, and really go feel the ground on your fingertips, on your feet. Go out there and listen to the bird songs. Go stare up at the clouds. Just doing things to just kind of tune into the natural rhythm of life. It's not meant to be just go 24 hours all the time, constantly cranking. Nature rests. And even in rest, you're doing stuff, but it's a different sort of doing. It's recuperating. So allow that space for rest as well, that the mind is, I think we always get into a place, or I don't want to say we always, but I think we've been kind of conditioned to a place to always be kind of going after something that's next and constantly, but we don't have to like lust after it, or to kind of like, where it becomes frantic, just allowing things are going to get there when it's going to get there, and I'm going to enjoy it, just enjoy the process, enjoy the movement. So those would be just like some ways I would think about that. But let's go ahead, and I got a chart for you here. Let me kind of clean that up a little bit. But as you see here, Mercury is going to enter Taurus, like I said, around about 5:16 a.m. And again, that's Pacific time. And this would be now whenever we have planets that are moving into new signs, you again want to check to see where you have Taurus in your chart, because now themes of Mercury are going to start. Those topics may start coming more up in your mind, or you start may talking about different things. So let's say, for example, with this chart. This chart has Taurus rising here. So and this would be for my advice. So, of course, the chart would vary, of course, with the different Tauruses. But if someone had like a Taurus rising, now Mercury is going to be thinking about like, and Mercury does great in the first house, by the way, if you do have Taurus rising. This would be a great way of thinking about maybe new ways of how you want to communicate. Maybe you want to express yourself in a certain type of way. Taurus has a, lovely voice. They're associated with medically with the throat. So this could be maybe you're getting some like vocal lessons. Maybe you want to learn how to sing, or maybe you want to do something like just work the muscle of the voice a bit differently. Use it as an instrument that it's meant to be. Maybe learn different vocal techniques or different phrasing, different breath work, or maybe you're thinking about your appearance. Maybe you want to change up your style. You want something a bit more, to again touch into that Venusian energy. Taurus is classy. Taurus is comfortable. Maybe you want to get yourself a little something more like more. It doesn't. The brand doesn't matter, but just as long as it's comfortable. But maybe you want to get a little bougie. Maybe you want to get some name brand. Taurus is with it. But think about things that are just going to be like investments. Maybe you want to set aside a budget so that you can take more time for self-care. Maybe getting your hair done regularly, your nails done regularly. Maybe doing like something with the skin. Maybe even working on like a new self-care routine, or maybe you do like a skincare routine, whatever that might be looking like. Workout routine. The first house deals with the body, so maybe you're noticing like, okay, I'm at this chapter in my life. How do I want my body to be? How do I want to feel in my body? So that's a thing to think about. But also too, this would be a great one for beginning new actions. Maybe beginning new ideas. Maybe you want to start a business. Maybe you want to write a book. Maybe you want to create a social media platform. Maybe you want to, whatever this is looking like. This would be a great, Mercury really, while Mercury's in Taurus, this would really support that. But you want to also pay attention to, if you have like Virgo and Capricorn placements, that's going to be a lot of flow. Mercury come through. You can see a lot of ideas maybe moving there. Now, if you have like fixed signs, if we're talking like Leo, Aquarius, Scorpio, then with the Leo and Aquarius, this is going to be fun. I got like 5 stacks of Leo, so cause this is questionable time for me sometimes. But that's something that you can get ready. You can get ready and think like, okay, what are some things I might need to push through? Some ideas that I have these ideas, but I really got to work at accomplishing this stuff. Then that might be something where, for Taurus and for Leo placements, and then again, see where you have those, what houses they rule. You can get an idea of what themes are going to be coming up for you. And then Scorpio, this is just going to be just like, opposing. So now we're going to be looking at like a self-evaluation time. What needs to change? Like, oh, this is not what I expected that to be. Or, oh, this is exactly what I wanted this to be. I want to keep more of this going. So water signs, Cancer, Taurus, or Cancer and Pisces, this could be one where, opportunities may be presented for you. Maybe something happens with like a friend, maybe presenting something for you. Or this could be where maybe you do something in like your community. Maybe you're taking like more kind of short trips or something along those lines or whatever. I'm just thinking by like kind of just like by whole sign like placements there. But yeah, some interesting stuff that can happen for you, and it doesn't have to be overwhelming. The astrology is not happening to you. It's like you need to happen to the astrology, because if you don't do anything, nothing happens. There's nothing to react to. So this would be like, what intention? That's why I always invite for that. What intention do you want to say? Like, oh, now Mercury's doing this, things are going to slow down. No, Mercury's going to do this, and now you can do this with that. Like, okay, this is doing my first house. How do I want to improve my body? Or how do I want to do this thing? How do I want to save up more money? How do I want to improve this relationship? It helps you get just a more grounded approach, I think, to the astrology there, so you feel more in control than you realize. So, and it's all set up in a divine cycle for you there, to talk about tuning in with the energies. So yeah, I like Taurus for the most part, even though even for me personally, it's more activity than maybe one would like, but gives me a chance to get things done too. Get me thinking about the things that the sun has already been kind of bringing to my awareness. So now Mercury is like, all right, let's make sense of that. You've been feeling a lot, been getting a lot of downloads. So now we need to make those downloads happen and let everyone see the results you're thinking. I got two things I'm thinking about right now. So there's that. But if you, that's about all I got for you there on this Mercury one. But if you want to work with these transits more personally, down in the description box there is the list of my services, how to send payments to me, and if you have any questions, there's a link for the email to me. Just reach out and let's get a chatting. I'm here for it. And also, if you want to, on this channel, I do also these videos that talk about different planets and different signs and different houses. I'm actually about to do Mercury one here next. So, and an Earth sign, no doubt. And then, if you want to work with the lunar shenanigans, on my other channel, the Sheridan Friends, I do just that. I talk about the lunar astrology and do an I-Ching reading and a tarot card reading as well. And so you get all kinds of mysticism. It's fantastic over there for you. So there's all those shenanigans. But until next time, stay mindful out there. Keep raising that vibration through the roof. And I will catch you on the next one, and like for real this time, Mercury Day.